And we're live. How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Rail Trail Queensland YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Translink app. So, the fucking geese. Shut up. Now, according to a news report that I saw, the new Translink app has been quite terrible, with a cameo from Emmy on board as well, saying that people are confused and people are frustrated. So I thought that I would do what is necessary, waiting for the focus. So I've got the old app installed and the new app. So what'll happen when we open the old app, you'll get the loading screen and you will still have the journey planner. However, it says my Translink ends on the 29th of August, which was yesterday. So we're going to have a look at the on the phone HUD, and by doing that I'm going to start a screen record. So the My Translink app has its default sort of settings where you've got your journey planner. As soon as you start the app, you got a favorites tab down the bottom, so you can add your favorite stops, like this example down the bottom here of Queen Street stop 7. We have your favorite services, the 111, which is now ironically the M1, and you can add your favorite destinations, home, work, school, etc., etc. Now, the next tab along the bottom, we have the timetable. So naturally, near my address, there will be no public buses, as the nearest public bus might be Kilcoy. However, we can put in our we can put in any random bus route that we find fit. So I'm going to use the M1 as a pure example. So I'm going to search M1 SEQ. And although 1 minute. Although that it says that the app has been depreciated, we can still use the timetable. So we're having a look at the M1 inbound to Brisbane City. So we've got 8 Mile Plains and all of the stations towards Brisbane City. Now, I believe that my face is not fully in frame, so I'm going to be having a quick look at that while I fix things, which I can't do while I'm recording. Dick move. So in the More tab, we have our service updates, our preferences, printable timetables, go card, feedback, and app features. So that's the old app. That's the old reliable. I'm going to change the point of focus very quickly. That's old reliable. Now, I've never seen the new app. I only installed it yesterday before work. And we're going to have a look and see what the fuss is about. So I'm going to close these apps, and then I'm going to select the new white and blue Translink app. Why? Okay, so opening screen, we had the black screen on a pink Translink logo, and it's now telling us that protecting your personal data. Use of the Translink app is subject to privacy terms and conditions. Because why not, government? Okay, so we're going to get started on that. So Translink would like to send you notifications, which would be helpful when you're doing journey planning. So we're going to allow that. Translink would like to use your location, which post-edit will be removed, because you're not finding out where I live. So we're going to allow this. We're going to hit allow while using the app. And it looks like it's going to show us a tutorial on how to use the app. So you can plan your journey. You can have a look at your nearest departures. So it looks like the app has an inbuilt departure board. Your journey results. See a summary of your journey and any disruption information, which might be handy. So real-time information, see when your bus, train, ferry or tram will depart in real time. Live navigation, step-by-step guidance through your journey. And my trips. Save your trips to get notifications in real time, which is also handy. I do that quite a lot. Map settings, see your map display preference settings. So it looks like in the app it has real-time tracking as well, like a real-time map. So this might actually not be as bad as everyone is saying it is. I think people don't like change, but we're about to find that out the hard way. So this new screen is actually kind of nice. There is sort of less open space as opposed to the first app, but we're about to find out whether or not the real-time information is as up-to-date as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a trip that I used to do all the time when I was a kid, and that is to travel from my old address to South Bank Station. So naturally, I will be blurring out the old address because the current people that live there actually do look quite nice. Well, there you go. It still shows up on Google Maps as a name that's not the address. So destination to South Bank Station. Now, from memory, I remember I had to walk at least a kilometre and a bit towards the train station, and then I had to catch the train to South Bank. It would have just been the simple Cleveland train to South Bank. So we're going to check this out and see if it's correct. Well, it is incorrect because there's rail buses running today. So it would be saying walk. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. That's where people might be getting confused. So I don't think people are actually tapping on the planned journey that it has spat out. I think people are looking at it and then getting confused. So it's on the surface value, it's telling me to walk, catch the R348, and then Cleveland train. So that's not very specific. However, if I actually tap on it, it'll say from this address to St. Vincent's Road, 1st Street, stop 25, Virginia. It's a 1.2 kilometer distance. So that's an 18-minute walk, which sounds about right. I could probably do it in 14, but that's just because I'm like 80% leg. So tells us to want to go to St. Vincent's Road, 1st Street, stop 25, and it will take the R348 to Holland Street. Now, personally, I believe that the R348 bus symbol should be between the first stop and the last stop, because people look at the first stop, say, oh, I'm there. And then they look at Holland Street and go, well, how do I get there? So I reckon it should be like St. Vincent's Road at 1st Street, stop 25, and then the R348, Holland Street, Northgate Station. And then says we have a 5-minute transfer at Holland Street to Northgate Station, and then Northgate Station, Platform 1 to South Bank, Platform 1. It should arrive at South Bank Station by 1:57. I don't know what people are going off about. Like, this is actually genuinely amazing information. But that's probably because I've already known what the route is. Let's say I wanted to go from UQ Lakes to Carindale, which I very rarely go to. I think I've only been to Carindale twice in the last 7 years. So we're going to go from UQ Lake Station. Where is it? I just missed it and my phone autocorrected to Yah. So UQ Lakes. UQ Lake Station, and then it didn't let me put in the end destination, so it still auto filters when you've still got your destination highlighted. So which is pretty cool, because then if you accidentally misinput the starting area, you can still have your final area, as opposed to hitting the plan your journey button again. So destination to Carindale, if I can remember how to spell it. Carindale Shopping Centre interchange. Okay. So we're going to click the most. We're going to click the most complex. The most complex route. So this one is saying M2 Cleveland Train 205. So this map is actually not terrible. Carindale Shopping Centre interchange, you'll start at 1:08 and get there at 1:38, so it'll take you exactly 30 minutes on the dot. So you want to go from UQ Lakes Platform A to Boggo Road Busway Station by catching the M2. Now that we read it like that, the M2 after the interchange is actually making a lot of sense. And it also gives you a little warning here as well that lifts are out on Platform 5. To use the help phone on the platform if you require assistance, technicians have been notified. So this is actually working quite well. I really don't know how people are getting frustrated over this, but it's then telling us to transfer 4 minutes from Boggo Road Busway Station to Boggo Road Train Station. So for those who don't know Boggo Road, you'll jump off on platform, I believe it's platform 5, and then you'll just jump up over the overpass just on the south bank end of the platform, just over, and then it wants us to catch the Cleveland train, so that should be on platform number 1. So Boggo Road Station, platform 1 to Buranda Station, platform 1. So that will be an exactly 2-minute transfer from Boggo Road to the next station, which is Buranda. And then it wants us to transfer 7 minutes from Buranda Station to Buranda Busway Station, which you might have to go over platform 2 to platform 1 and then transfer down towards the new sort of link they've installed for Boggo Road Busway. And then it wants us to catch the 205 from Buranda Busway Station to Carindale Shopping Centre interchange. So this is actually working quite well. And I really don't know how sort of people are becoming quote-unquote frustrated over this when it makes perfect sense if you actually stop for a minute and read into your journey. We're just going to go through the More tab right now. This is actually quite a nice little gradient they got in the background there between the grey and the barely pink. Your route timetables, which naturally, I reckon the route timetables should be integrated into the app and not a redirect to the Translink website. That's a given, because then you got to look through this app, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's my personal opinion right there. I reckon a select few timetables, specifically the more popular ones around the CBD and surrounds, should be in the app itself instead of being a redirect to Safari. So we got your settings, got your tutorial, you can contact Translink, app info, privacy, terms and conditions. So everything is pretty straightforward on this one. There is basically, there's no confusion on my half. It just makes the most sense, really. But if new things are a little hard for you, or if you have some form of intellectual disability, or you get a little overwhelmed by looking at so much on one screen, you're going to really hate the next app that I'm about to show you. This app is called NextThere, which is a free app to download. You get a lot of base data feeds, but if you pay a little extra, you get more cosmetic changes, as well as vehicle run numbers like trains, etc. You can filter by operator. You can filter by operator, as I have here. I've got rail replacement buses for work, because naturally I work for Kinetic and I do rail replacement all the time. So you can filter by operator, rail replacement bus. I've got Clark's for when I'm at Beanley Station. I've got Kinetic Gold Coast, just in case I need to check sort of transfers to and from, like Varsity Lakes, for example, with the Route 760. And Transport for Brisbane as well, just in case I'm working at Boggo Road and people want to transfer to the M1. So we're going to have a look at Roma Street Station. So we're going to hit the search icon in the bottom right, and we're going to input Roma Street Station, which you can select so many stops within the general consensus of the word Roma. So Roma Street Station, you just tap that, and then this is showing trains and buses. Now, trains will be shown by their line code. So You've got your greens for your Nambour, Gympie, Ipswich, Rosewood. You've got your yellows for your Airport, Varsity Lakes, and you've got your greens for the Cleveland, Shorncliffe, your blues, sorry, for the Cleveland, Shorncliffe line, as well as your reds for Beanley. So all of your line colours are exactly the same as they are on the current map. The only difference being that all of your bus routes will be showing up in pink, sort of like the off pink Translink colouring. So the way that we can see everything that goes through Roma Street, instead of just scrolling for ages, if you're looking for a specific bus, you can type in your destination on the top screen here. So if I want to go from Roma Street to UQ Lakes, I just select the destination for UQ Lakes, and then it'll say no upcoming services to UQ Lakes. This might be due to being a weekend. They might have the RM1 operating. So we're going to go back to our dashboard. We're going to search all services, and then we just hit the top right and click vehicles. This is our map of everything that stops into Roma Street. And as you can see, the network is huge. So we've got our 380s over here. We've got our Ferny Grove Beanley lines over the top here. And we've got all of our trains, buses, and everything over there. Now, this app does also cover the ferry network as well. However, because there's no ferry terminal at Roma Street Station, it will not show up. But what we can also do instead is, instead of looking at a specific station and then trying to find your bus, you can also hit the search icon again, and then you can just use your fingers to pinch and scroll. So, for example, now I've got Canberra and ACT. I've got Tamworth, Armidale. If I keep going up, I've got Brisbane. So then you can sort of look around Brisbane. There will be no live feed on the search icon, as that will clutter up the map too much. But then if you're at a specific stop, you look for your location services identified by that compass arrow on the top right, and then you can just hit a stop and then see what services are coming up next. Now, one of the cool things about this app is it's not really quite that productive. However, there oftentimes is a search function within the app for Christmas buses. So when Brisbane City Council decorates their buses for Christmas, you've got all your lights, your tinsel, etc. They include a filter which will let you know which bus is running. Now, if you're a bus enthusiast, not like me, if you're a bus enthusiast and you want to know which service is operating on your line, you simply just tap the line code. So we're going to have a look at our 412s, which is our UQ City Express. You just tap a single bus on there, and it will give you the bus number in the bottom corner there. So this 412 to St. Lucia is run by bus 1023, which, if you hit the information icon in the top right, it will tell you exactly what bus model it is, what the license plate, what depot, and will even include a cute little picture for you. So one of the reasons why I mainly use NextThere over Translink is because it has Apple Watch integration, which means that I can use my Apple Watch for work, and then I can also scan through all of our rail replacement services. And speaking of rail replacement services, you'll see on the front screen it says unknown, 0% on time. This is intentional, as rail replacement buses do not have lifetime tracking. So it will always just say unknown, or it will resume on timetable time. So this 581 will resume at 9:21 p.m. This one, the 952, resumes on Wednesday night. And the 603 City of the Southern Corridor resumes on Sunday. As usual, you've got your line maps over here, which I don't know how we managed to sort of spread from talking about the Translink app to talking about NextThere. I think NextThere is the next viable option. But if we go back to the Translink app, I'm going to play you all a news article, and you're going to see what I mean. This is what's going to end the video right here. You're going to see all of these 1-star reviews on the App Store, which I can look at right now. We're going to go to the App Store. We're going to go to the Translink app. Translink. We're going to have a look at some of these reviews. So, choice. One of these reviews, so it has 331 ratings with an average star rating of 1.1 stars. So people are pissed. So it's currently the #1 app for travel, which is also a very interesting sort of schematic. I don't usually review apps, but this has made my daily commute so much harder. Having my favorited routes on the homepage was the only reason I used the old app. Now they're incredibly hard to find quickly, and I can't even save specific stops for some of the larger bus stops, like Queen Street Mall. We are going to test this right now. So we're going to go back into our Translink app, and we're going to try and save Queen Street Mall stop F. So my trips, saved commutes. They say it's incredibly hard to find, but I don't even know where to start. Queen Street Station. Okay, so they might be onto something here. Queen Street Station is not easily made. So it's got nothing in the tutorial. It's got nothing in the Explore tab. I think it might be because I'm in Trip Search. But departures nearby. That is a screen we did not cover the first time because I didn't even know that was there. So now you can enter your stop. So we're going to go Queen Street stop A. Queen Street Station. Okay, so it has not given us the option to save a specific stop. So it's just giving us the generic Queen Street Station. However, you can do that. I don't know why I'm pointing at the viewfinder. You can do that in NextThere. We are going to go to NextThere. We're going to go to Queen Street, and it will actually filter by your station. So you got Queen Street Station. This is Southport. Queen Street Station. Queen Street Bus Station. There we go. And as you saw on the search icon, you've got your Queen Street stations 1A, 1B, 1C. So you can physically search and type for whatever bus stop you actually need. So we wanted 1A, 1B, 1C, and then bang, hit that star icon at the top there. And then you go back to your dashboard, and Queen Street 1A is now your favorited stop. So this is almost exclusively for the 100s, which is fine. Because if you actively go to a Nala, Godspeed, this is how you do it. So we're going to end this off with the news article, which sort of defined why people are pissed. But all I want to say is that the Translink app is not terrible. It is just lacking in specific features which might come later in a quality of life update. So, oh, my nose is so itchy. Thank you so much for watching. Honestly, I don't think I covered too much in this, but it's a good little PSA. But thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go through and edit this now, and I'm going to finish this off with the news article. Olay.
For more than a decade, the Translink app's been an invaluable tool for public transport passengers.
I just find it's really helpful.
It's also helpful to figure out what times the buses are coming.
But as of today, it's no longer available. Microsoft ending support for its Xamarin platform, forcing Translink to create a new journey planning app.
We had a really tight time frame to be able to produce a new app.
Available for more than a year, users have criticised the new version so much it's got a 1.1 star rating on the Apple Store website.
If I could give this negative stars, I would.
Almost unusable. Can't see the buses in real time. can't search a bus route.
This app is so confusing and hard to use.
We are listening to customers' feedback. Over the weekend, we did a large update, and that's include new improved features, such as the ability to link to timetables.
People are frustrated. People are struggling to do their routes properly.
Now a host of other transport groups have created their own apps using the Translink data.
From timetables to live tracking information for buses, trams, ferries, you name it, they've got it.
Whichever way you choose to get your journey planning information, we just want to see you on board public transport.
Until the real deal is up to scratch. Samantha Heathwood, 7 News.